as shown here. Now we're ready to set the springs. To start, you will need your drill and the 1/4 inch insert bit included with your door. You can also use a 7/16 inch socket. Set the drill to forward, which is clockwise as you point the drill away from you. If the stripe on each spring is not facing toward you as shown here, engage the drill with the 1/4 inch insert bit or the 7/16 inch socket into the drive shaft of the winding unit to rotate the spring until the stripe is facing you. Now we need to set the gap in the spring. Holding the tube in place, compress the left side spring completely against the winding unit, and then release the spring. Measure and adjust the length of the spring and match the length you recorded earlier. Be sure not to stretch the springs before tightening the set screws. Stretching the springs could cause the loss of spring tension and possibly allow the door to fall. Now, tighten both set screws in the set cone to the torsion tube. Use a 3/8 inch wrench if the springs are supplied with square head set screws, or a 3/16 inch hex wrench if supplied with internal set screws. Be aware that when resistance is encountered while tightening the set screw, the screw has made contact with the tube. Set screws should be turned from 3/4 to 1 full turn after they have made contact. Additional turns may damage the tube. Repeat the last procedure for the other spring. In this next step, be careful not to shift the tube left or right, as this will disturb the gap set in the spring or springs. Start with the left side. Pull the lift cable up from the safety bottom bracket, behind the rollers, and inside of the jam brackets. Next, insert the cable lug into the drum slot. Note, make sure that both set screws are flush or below the surface of the cable grooves before securing the drum. Take up the cable slack by turning the drum by hand. Make sure the cable is pulled tightly into the drum grooves and that the drum is against the bearing in the winding unit. Then tighten the one accessible set screw in the drum using a 3/16 inch hex wrench. Set screws should be turned from 3/4 to 1 full turn after they have made contact with the tube. Only one of the 2 set screws need to be tightened at this time. The remaining set screw will be tightened at the end of the installation when the door can be raised or lowered. While maintaining cable tension, use the drill, turning clockwise, to wind the spring 1 or 2 turns. The spring tension will maintain the proper cable tension when you let go. Go to the right side and repeat the last procedure to secure the right side drum. Next, you will install the tube retainer. Attach the tube retainers to the EZ Set Torsion spring system brackets on both sides with a 3/8 inch by 3/4 inch carriage bolt and a 3/8 inch flange nut. You are now ready to tension the spring or springs. To avoid personal injury during this process, do not make contact with any part of the EZ Set Torsion spring system.